Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to Dr. Lou's News and Reviews. Today we're going to go over a really important topic. I think that most of us are looking for some answers, and I'm hoping that I can give you some answers. Understand that when I give these messages, I'm not talking to like I'm preaching to people, because I'm definitely not, guys. I'm just giving you the words or the messages that are being given to me to share with you guys, and that's what I want to do. So the other night, again, I was sleeping, and bam, and I woke up in the middle of the afternoon, and I started writing down all of this stuff. I wrote down three papers of stuff that just came to me, and I'm hoping that, Christians out there, that maybe you guys can help me, because I'm not a man of the word. I don't memorize it. I have no idea. I just get these downloads. I write it down, and I'm told to share it with you guys. So that's what it is. So today, I wanted to talk about, one thing that's really missing from this world more than ever, and that people are literally focusing on the wrong thing. And that's really I call it universal equity, or worldly equity, and heaven equity. And there's two very distinct pieces of equity there. And of course, equity, we'll say that it's like money we can buy in or something like that. And people think if they do more worldly equity, they give more, and they serve more, that's going to be enough for them to get in heaven, to whatever. And that's not the case. You're not going to be able to buy your way in heaven just by doing good, just on people. Now, it takes more than that. God said He wants two things to be done. Of course, praise for Him, and then of course, loving their neighbor. So when I'm talking to you guys about this equity, it's very important to understand, that the worldly equity is not going to buy your way in heaven. I don't care. You can help an old lady across the street, but if you're not a good person, and if you don't have love in your heart, and you're not going to get there. So you have to build up that heavenly equity. So the worldly equity is like, you might have heard of, if you want to be successful, you got to get blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. You got to work hard. Well, guess what? That can only go so far, because that's universal or worldly equity. And if we think about it, Jesus already died on the cross, and He already, the blood He sacrificed. The sweat was when He was carrying the cross on His back through Jerusalem to Mount, you guys know exactly. And then also the tears. And these are the tears, Mount Calvary, excuse me, I'm sorry. I had a little brain fart there. But anyways, and then the tears were of the suffering of the people, as well as suffering of Jesus when He was carrying that cross, enduring the most excruciating pain that He's ever, any person could ever imagine. So when people say you got to give, and I used to think this myself, I used to think I got to work harder, I got to work harder, I got to work harder, I got to put more into it in order for me to be successful. And in my young early careers of being an entrepreneur, I thought that's what it was. Blood, sweat, tears, work harder than everybody. And really it's not the case, because it can be so much easier to succeed in life. It can be so much more easier to succeed in life. And how we can do that is literally by heaven equity. And what is the most important aspect of that equity? What is going to bring you that $100 bill of equity or $1 million bill of equity? And that is love. And that's really what God said is like, Louis, now more than ever, people need to get back into love. Because why? Whether it be our family, whether it be our friends, whether it be this COVID, whether it be locked in our home with in social distancing, that we're not able to express ourselves anymore. And literally everybody is angry. And we got more Karens than ever before, attacking people, calling on people, throwing coffee in people's faces. What? Because they're not wearing a mask, or because they don't agree with their view, or whatever. And it's just, it's crazy. And now literally social media, guys, and this is, it's also happening to me, as well. I get upset when I get on social media and I see, some of these things that are unjust, whether it be a racial issue, black on white, or white on black crime, or or people, abusing animals, or this big thing, guys, and really what this message is about, and it's about the kids, because our kids are the ones that are being trafficked. Our kids are the ones that are being slaughtered by the rich and elite, and it's got to stop. And it's because this world is becoming darker. Satan is literally taking this world and getting everybody angry, getting everybody on edge. And I'm talking some of the best Christians out there, some of the best people out there, some of the best. And it doesn't even have to be Christians, guys. It could be Jewish or Muslim, whatever. Because, the word is the word when you're talking what God's given you. And I don't want to get into the differences of that. But Jesus said, he died for us, for our sins, but he also died for our success. Because if we think about it, when God created us, who did he create us in? The likeness of him. So we already possess the very power of God. But God is who? God is what? It says it, I'm sure in the Bible, many places where God is love. God is love, and if God's love, and you're in pain, or you're in fear, or you're in anger, there is no way that you can represent or express the major powers that God has given us as a gift. So, in doing that, even myself, guys, I wasn't really raised in a very loving family. Actually, I was kind of raised in more of a narcissistic family. And what is love? Love is not narcissistic love. And that means that love doesn't have conditions. It doesn't have a record of wrong or right. It doesn't have ego. It doesn't have expectations, or love is definitely not an abuse. I have some friends that are girlfriends of mine, that are friends of mine, and guess what? These people, they're getting their asses beat by their boyfriends and by their husbands. I'm like, no, that's not love, but yet they'll protect them. Love is not in demands, and love is not self-fulfilling. You got to understand, guys, that what's going on now, everything is about what? Self-fulfilling. Everybody, what can I get in it for me? What can I get in it for me? And living with it, also a narcissistic family, everything was built on love. Our love was built on, what can you do? It was either by expectations, whether, hey, you could do good in sports. Oh, so I can show this around to all my friends and see how good my son is doing, or how good my brother is doing. But yet, when the doors are closed, there is no expression of love at all. Or demands, when people putting demands on you, either you do this, and if you don't do this, we're going to take this away from you. That's not love. Those are those false expectations you can never keep up, because it's a fake love. It's a narcissistic love. So with that being said, I shouldn't even say it's narcissistic love, because you can't put the two together. You can't be narcissistic as well as and express love. Literally, they're two opposite ends of the spectrum there. So understand, when you're dealing with people now more than ever, that narcissism is more rampant, because everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses. Everybody wants to show up the next person, whether it be their kids are better, whether it be their job is better, whether it be the house is better, the car is better, the boat is better, when really what we need to be focusing on is, are we loving one another? Are we actually respecting one another? Are we protecting one another? Are we protecting our children, our next generation as well? So with that being said, like in my 20s, I was so angry, man. I remember I was so angry. I was angry at my family. I was angry at my friends. And literally, what did I get into? I got into fighting, drugs, partying, and women, so I'm not any better than anybody else. And guess what? I still love to party. I still love women. So how can I say this stuff? But you know what? It's not about me anyways. When God says, hey man, you got to do it, you just got to do it. And you know what? The judging can go on later on when I'm up there and I'm dead. So I had to learn how to do a couple things in order for me to become successful in life. And really, what is success? It's not my house, it's not my car, it's not my business. Success is like, what am I doing in humanity to try to make it right? And so that's why I'm making these videos. It's not because I'm thinking I'm better than everybody or I'm some preacher, because I'm definitely not. But what I am is a messenger. So don't beat up the messenger when I give you these little things. And of course, guys, you can see I am sweating here. It's hot in the studio today, so I do apologize about it. But anyways, so what is love? Love is what we need to help build up our heavenly equity. So God said what? The most important thing is give him praise. And the second thing, which was the most important command, he says, love your neighbor as you would love yourself. And how true that is, man. With all of this racial tension going on, what does it take to go out to talk to your neighbor who's a different color or of a different race or what have you, and just get to know them? You probably find out that they have a lot more in common with you than you actually think. So what is love? So what it came to me in my thing, like I said, I don't do Bible studies and stuff like that, but 1 Corinthians, I don't know exactly which one it is. This is what it came to me. It said, and I do remember this also as a child, that love is patient, love is kind, and then also talks about what it doesn't do. And love is not envious. Love is not boastful. Love does not keep a record of wrong or rights, and with that being said, and love is most important, it's not easily angered. Sometimes my girlfriend, she can irk the crap out of me. I'm like, she's like the spawn from Satan sometimes, I think. But you know what? No, I love her, man. She's amazing. But with that being said, sometimes we got to have a little bit more patience. We got to show a little bit more love and keep focused on the right things and not definitely on the wrong. So one thing that God told me to tell everybody, he's like, Lou, and even my mentors, I remember my mentors telling me this, Louis, you can do all that you want, but your first thing you got to do is you got to come from love. Do everything with love. And I know when I'm talking to my clients, I know when I'm talking to my patients, and I'm in that loving state, there's nobody that can turn away. There's nobody that can turn a blind eye to me because I'm on. But when I'm not in that loving state, of course, I can lose relationships, sales, whatever it may be. So we don't want to, try not to get into that. So the message I have is that you have not seen me. God told me this. He said, you've never seen me, but I'm in you. And he says, I have made you complete with love. And love one another as you would love yourself. And I was like, wow, never thought of that, God. And he said, because I love you, Lou, I will give you the people and I will give you the nations. And that's just not really me, guys, because I'm no special or no different than anybody else. But literally, if you start loving people, God is going to start blessing you with maybe things that you're aspiring to. And I'm not going to say, hey, love God and you're going to get more money, because that is not the truth at all. So when you hear some of these people, but God wants you to be successful. He wants you to be abundant because God is abundant in all of that as well. So, and then also, if you live in fear, that there is no way that you can express or you can get love, or you can live in that heavenly abundance where you're getting that equity back as well. So, with that being said, what God gave me is this other scripture, and he said, let no doubt remain outside, except debts to love one another. Whoever loves another has fulfilled love. And that means that you're going to start buying yourself or earning into God's heavenly gates. Because why? Because now you're using his equity that he's commanded you to use to move forward. And of course, you're using what? Love and respect for your neighbor, love and respect for your loved ones, and what have you. So, and then the next thing is, whoever does not have love does not know me. And that's one thing that God told me. I was like, man, sometimes, I know sometimes I don't have love. I struggle with it, But I know when I do have that love, I'm there. And every day, and that's really why I'm making these videos, because now more than ever, because guys, you got to understand, there's a battle going around, and it's not a physical battle. Well, yeah, parts there is, but it's really a spiritual battle going on. And that if we don't start banding together and start thinking the same And that's really the reason for this video, is so we can get on the same page and we can start love, because love is the major, and I think I even said that in the last video, is the major spiritual weapon to defeat evil. You guys understand that? That all you have to do is just show love. It's better than a right hook, or a left hook. It's better than an uppercut. It's better than a jab. It's better than pick them up and slam them on their head. Show them love and do that, but not in a physical way, So if you want success, you have to learn a couple of things. You have to learn to forgive, and you have to learn to love people. I try to be as genuine as possible to people, and sometimes I might even come off a little weird. I mean, obviously, I'm making some of these videos, and where does this scripture come from? My friends are probably going, Louis, you're the last person to ever make this stuff because of the life I led. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Now is the time to be genuine. Now is the time to help each other. Now is the time to take a bigger stand. Give back. Help somebody across the street. Cut your neighbor's lawn. You can do that. But you have to do it with love in your heart. And with family, God says honor your mother and your father and your family, and you can. But that also means that you can love them, but at a distance, to make sure you protect yourself from how you're growing, or that could be your anybody in your family, not just your parents. It could be your brothers, sisters, or aunts, or uncles, or whatever it is. Still love them, but does not mean that you have to put yourself into any type of narcissistic abuse, because you're better than that. And 90% of us are way better than the way we've ever been treated before in our past, or by our people that we thought that maybe should have protected us or loved us more. But understand that as you grow older and you start to figure things out, and you start to forgive yourself for wrongs, and you start to forgive other people maybe that have wronged you, then that love is easy to come up. It's easier to express. So I know I'm going to challenge you guys today to go out there and to love a little more. And then when you're doing something, it could be taking out the garbage for your wife. It could be washing a car for a friend. It could be taking your kids out for ice cream, whatever it may be. Take a step back and see how you feel, and make sure you bring up that love and feeling, because that's when the memories are going to be made. And that is the equity that God is looking for you to get into heaven. Now, with that, you have to start taking a stand, because this country is getting more and more torn apart. Our values are getting more torn apart. And we can do it by fighting physically, or we can beat this war and win our country back, protect our children by doing one thing, by showing more love. Because the foundation that love is built on, or if the foundation of your building is built on love, there's nothing that can break that down. There's nothing that can tear that down, because that is the greatest power in the world. That's the greatest power in heaven. That is the gift that God has given us. So take this message and take it with you, and sit down, look at home, look at your children. Take a look right and the left, if they're standing next to you. Look at your grandmother, your mother, your father, or even somebody they care about, one of your friends. Friends are just as big as family any day. If I didn't have the friends I have, I wouldn't have any family. So I tell my friends, and I'm very genuine with my friends, that, hey man, I love you guys, and I know that you guys love me. And if we can continue to expand this bubble of more and more people doing it, we can win this. We can win our country back. We can win our families back. We can win our loved ones back. But it takes humility. It takes love. It takes a certain type of forgiveness to let go of the anger, to let go of the problems that have been burdening you, me, for the last a few decades, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, people have lived a lifetime with burdens. And it's time to let those go. It's time to let go of the old anger and embrace the new love. It's time to forgive the wrongs and look at the bright future that we have, that you can create, because God made you in his own image. So you have the power to create your own universe. So do you want to create a universe of stagnant anger, resentment, ego, controlling? Or do you want to have a future of peace and of freedom and a love that you've never expressed before? Well, I'm telling you what, guys, that's what this message is about. And I'm going to ask you guys to keep on coming, because I'm going to keep on bringing some messages. And these are like non-denominational messages. I'm just speaking because this is what God's telling me to do, to tell you guys. So, but I'm speaking to every denomination. I'm speaking to every person that is out there, that if you have been wronged, if you have been living with pain, if you've been living with hurt, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. That love is the key. Love is the key to our success in winning our country back. Love is the key to the success of our lives. Love is the key to the success of your family. Love is the key to the success of your business. Love is the key to the success of every relationship that you have with anybody down here. And love is the key to get into heaven. That is what we need to rejoice on. So, wanted to keep this video under 20 minutes. I'm looking at around 21 minutes here. There again, I look forward to hearing from you. If you like, please like, share, and subscribe. Go on my YouTube page. I'm Dr. Lou's News and Reviews. I'm going to be making other videos about other things as well. It's not always going to be preaching about love and respect, but really I have to give you guys a foundation before I start moving you up the ladder, and you start seeing really when I help you guys remove the scales from your eyes and help you become enlightened to really what's going on. So take this message, take it for what you want. You can laugh at it. You can take it to to your preacher. I'm here for you guys. There again, I'm not a preacher, so a lot of these verses and stuff like that I could have had wrong, or I don't even know which ones are verses. I just wrote down that the messages that I was getting so I can share it with you. So maybe you guys can go out there and you can share with me, hey Doc, this is a verse that you said, or from the message that God gave you, hey Doc, this is something else. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know, but I'm hoping that my fellow men and women that are out there can help me continue to grow so I can continue to make great videos for you guys. I love and appreciate you. Have a great day.